But too soon my fears return, and dark mistrust disturbs anew. What smothered fires within yet burn, my days of peace, alas, how few. These hearts, Theos, shall they ne'er be past? These strifes, shall they forever last? In Romans 8:16, through Paul says, the Spirit himself bears witness, meaning that there is a special witness of the Holy Spirit to assure us that we are the children of God. He bears witness with our spirit that we are forgiven, through our spirits are constantly plagued with a sinful nature as daily sins we all know so well. This is the Mac Oligarchy podcast, and I'm your host, Tim McClone. I weep for America today. What happened on Saturday is a tragedy. If you follow me, I said if they can't get this guy by those 4 indictments, they're going to assassinate him. Listen to my videos. It's not hard to follow the tea leaves if you don't listen to the mainstream news. This indeed is a sad day for the United States and the world as well. Incredibly dark day for our nation. This planet is regressing instead of progressing. What happened on Saturday, if you're not convinced that DTJ, whatever you think of Donald J. Trump, he's the people's president. And if you don't believe that, you're a moron. You're un-American. And the funny thing and the sad thing is, though, that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come out of the work now and start supporting this guy. That's what it takes, like 9/11. And it's not too hard to look at what this guy was doing in the past, since the 80s, what he believed in. He's a moderate, for Christ's sake. He's not a far-right extremist. He didn't kill 6 million Jews and millions of people, and you're calling him Hitler for 8 years. Look at his policies when he went on Barbara Walters and Oprah Winfrey. They're still the same today. Remember, it's all about heroes and villains, and the media creates them, and most of you believe them. You believe what you hear on the TV. You don't have people on the ground in the Middle East, and like I do in Special Forces, people that work in D.C. on K Street, people that are involved in following the right blogs. I have people in my own family that believe what they hear on the TV. It's unbelievable. So, like I said in Romans 8:16, we witnessed an act of God. I know Bill Maher, that atheist punk, would not believe that. And some people put him on the pedestal in the media and, of course, in Hollywood, like he's some, guy that understands politics. No, he doesn't. This is a comedian who talks about politics. He didn't go all the way in school like me. He doesn't have friends that work on K Street in Washington. Been to the Pentagon a bunch of times, had cocktails and scotch with people that actually work in the military, come from a military family, people that work on Wall Street that have 10 times the money he does, 20. And you listen to this guy like he's an authority, this atheist punk who doesn't know shit about politics. He's the guy that says it all about Bill Maher. During the Trump presidency, everything was going well. African-American unemployment was at the lowest ever, and black wages raised more than under Donald Trump than any president in U.S. history. And we can go on about other races too. Everyone was doing well. But he said things are going so well, he's like, we need to crash the economy and have a recession to get rid of this guy. That's everything you need to know about this guy. This guy also said Russia collusion was fake. True. 100% false. Paid for by the DNC. And he's still trying to spout it. And now you're seeing a lot of these guys and gals. They're trying to jump on the Trump train because they want to hedge their bets. Just remember what they used to say. Remember all the media. There's a wonderful video going around of all these media now who want to say that, we need to, take it down a notch. We need to take the temperature down. Joe Biden just a few days ago said we need to put a bullseye in Trump's head. We can't allow this guy to be president. Did you see the video with Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, calling this guy Hitler, calling him a fascist, saying we need to take to the streets and kill this guy? Take him out. It's unbelievable. And now they want to hedge their bets because he was almost assassinated and say we need to take it down a temperature. One side's increasing the temperature. Don't try to say both sides need to take it down. One side needs to take it down. It's disgusting. I would argue the reason he got assassinated is because of the Democrats and Joe Biden's rhetoric. Joe Biden said during his inauguration, it was the most decisive speech in any president in U.S. history, that we were going to bring the nation together. And if you listen to what he said in that speech, calling half the country deplorables. Did you know that the working party switched? It used to be the party of the Democrats and it went to Republicans. So I have to ask you, if you work for a living and you make a wage, you make less than $10 million, why would you vote Democrat? The average Trump voter makes $70,000 a year. That's from Bill Maher, too. They actually work for a living. They're not on welfare. They're not part of the limousine liberal class, which are, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars. People that own like LinkedIn, the CEO, they're all liberals. Jeff Bezos, liberal. Peter Thiel was at his meeting. He's somewhat of a moderate, which is good. And he said the CEO of LinkedIn basically said, he was talking about what happened with this Trump thing. They were all at their little billionaire meeting in San Francisco, outside San Francisco. And that guy basically said he's unhappy that the guy didn't kill Trump. A CEO of a major corporation. These people are sick. Let me tell you something. A real American like me doesn't wish this on Barack Obama, Joe Biden, or anyone. I don't wish someone would kill these people. This is unbelievable. The rhetoric that's going on the next day, on Sunday and today, of these videos of people saying, Jack Black at a concert, that clown said, I can't believe he missed. Too bad. These people are sick. I don't wish that on anybody. And you people should be put in jail. It's just unbelievable to me how far we've dropped. We all do E&E tonight. We're all Americans before we're Democrats or Republicans. I am not a hardcore political pundit, but I'm so fascinated by politics, and I always have been on the sideline for years because I kind of grew up in it and was around people that were involved, unlike Bill Maher. And, but I usually keep it to myself, just like religion. But this is powerful times right now, and you have to get involved to make change and be involved in the world, make a difference. This is not about just making money anymore. When my family is going to be affected by the policies of the United States government, who's in power, then I'm going to have a voice and I'm going to say something. Because what's going on in this country, and I apologize for that, I have to leave my phone on, is unbelievable. When you take this guy, Trump, they tried to bankrupt him. They tried to slander him. They tried to imprison him. Now they have tried to kill him. But I would say this, but if God is protecting him, and I do believe that, their will never succeed. We need to pray, and I will say that we need to pray for Democrats and Republicans. And I have to say this, I'm not a fan of both sides. The rhinos, they're dirty. They spent like drunken sailors. The Democrats spent like drunken sailors. I'm a libertarian. I'm conservative on a lot of issues, and I'm liberal on gay rights, women's rights. So don't try to put me in a box. But a true American would say what happened Friday. We need to pray for Democrats, and we need to pray for Republicans. We're all Americans. And let me just say this about Trump. And this is why there's going to be that iconic photo of him. And I put it on my Twitter account, like millions of people reposted that photo. Incredible amateur photographer took that photo, him with his fist in the air, surrounded by a 5'3", mind you, DEI Secret Service agent who's not tall enough. We'll talk about that. And Donald Trump is 6'3". Come on, let's be smart here. We need to put people down of equal strength and size guarding the protectee, the person you're trying to protect. But think about this about Donald Trump. This is what's incredible. Imagine the kind of instinct it takes to pause amid that chaos. And I would urge you to listen to the live video. CNN, of course, didn't want to play it. He pauses during that chaos to get acclimated. And he touches his head like he's not shot. And he says, where are my shoes? Where are my shoes? And, can you imagine, just the chaos you're in? Are you dead? You get your bell rung. You just got knocked to the ground by 5 agents. And to tell the secrets agents, hey, wait. Gather his thoughts, whatever he was doing, and then raise a fist to the crowd. You have to give the man this. Whatever your politics, this is a once-in-a-generation political talent. From a political point of view, I would also say this. If, like I said earlier, you go back to this guy's videos on Oprah Winfrey, Barbara Walters, talking about how China is selling us out, how they're dumping their goods in our country, how manufacturing jobs are being taken away and we're getting looted. His policies in the 80s and 90s are the same policies today. Same. This guy is not Hitler. He's not a fascist. His policies, ladies and gentlemen, are moderate, by the way. They're not far right. They're not far left. They're moderate. 100%. Look at those videos and all the rappers and all that. When he's on The Apprentice, everyone loved him. This guy employs over 1,000 people. He employs blacks, Muslims. Oh, he's a racist. Unbelievable. I was with a black cabbie in Las Vegas, and he was telling me about how the valets are black at the Trump Hotel. I can't confirm or deny that. He goes, a lot of the hotels, and this was a black cabbie, and he gave me the whole rundown. We ended up talking for 45 minutes of why he loves Trump, and he knows what's going on in the black community. He said, he goes, I go to the Trump Hotel. He has black valets. Other hotels don't. He was talking about all this stuff. And a lot of the stuff made sense. And it really made me think for a half hour after I was with him. But he's not falling for the bullshit. And, someone close to the former president said Trump wears the armor of God. I believe that. Biden said just a few days before this attack, we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. That's Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi, we cannot let Trump be president. He's an existential threat. He's a fascist. The one thing that Democrats are very good at that the Republicans aren't, everything they say that the Republicans are doing, they are doing. They are imprisoning their political opponents. When Trump was president, did he shut down Twitter? Did he shut down the liberals on Twitter? No. Did he put people in jail? Did he try to prosecute people? No. And he probably won't even do it this time around, which he should. I would argue that this rhetoric, and I'm very concerned we'll get to the Secret Service. There seems to be a mole in the Secret Service. But no one can deny that when you, for 8 years, call someone a fascist, Hitler, like he killed 6 million Jews and millions of people and he marched across Europe, please. But we have 80% of Americans have never had their passport stamped, and they're quite stupid. And they would believe what they hear on the TV. And now we got this kid who seems like sort of like a patsy, another 20-year-old who couldn't get into his gun club as a kid. Poor shot, but that shot was pretty close. So they said an average to below average shooter could make it to the stage there. But when you treat someone the way you're going to cause a lot of violence in the street. We had that with Antifa. We had that with Black Lives Matter when they should have said ratchet it down a notch, in my opinion, after George Floyd, but they allowed $40 billion of damage and 40 people to die. When you talk like this in the media, when Chuck Schumer says about Brett Kavanaugh, you're going to have the wrath and, the whirlwind, these people should not be allowed to talk like that. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know that, and this is 100% fact. And what I also wanted to say about him raising his fist, he didn't think of himself. He thought of the American people. He wanted to let his followers know that he was all right. So there wasn't mass chaos, in my opinion, but to fight. He wanted to let everyone know. He probably thought in that moment, and I've listened to all the commentary, that maybe he's going out. Those are his last words. And he said, don't give up. It was incredible. That was an incredible moment that will go down one of the greatest moments in history. It was incredible. And it's going to bring people to his side. A lot of phonies, by the way, because they want to jump now on the Trump train. They never believed in the guy. But what an incredible moment. 99.9% of politicians would have ran under that podium and crawled off the stage like a bunch of pussies. What an incredible political instinct, though. and what an instinct. But it also goes to his character. And if you look, and there's precedent of his videos in the 80s and 90s, Wharton School of Business, went to the military academy. This guy loves this country. And we have a current president in that sold it out to foreign interests, and they have the paper trail. Don't tell me it doesn't exist. No other president in history took payoffs. $172,000 salary, 50 years, started in politics at 29 years old, and he's a billionaire. He took $1 billion payoff. He's got multiple homes paid for, and he shouldn't. I have to laugh. You guys, I remember the Trump taxes. I said, nothing's going to happen with his taxes, because before Donald Trump went down the escalator, he had his tax attorney and his lawyer go, Mr. President, your taxes are fine. You can run for president. Yes, he has a lot of write-offs because he makes hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. I have a liberal friend in LA that writes off hundreds of thousands of dollars off his real estate business, and it's legal. And he sits there and says Trump's doing what he's doing is illegal. Well, guess what? If Trump was cheating on his taxes, if he was cheating in his real estate business, they would have put him in jail a long time ago, because they looked under every cranny and nook. So it's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. This is just mind-boggling. But I need to talk about this because I just had it. And everyone has flaws. Trump has flaws. Everyone has flaws. But the way this man has been treated since he walked down the escalator, the difference between me and these hardcore leftists is I don't wish that on Barack Obama. I don't wish that on Hillary Clinton. I don't wish that on Joe Biden. They have lied about this man. The Russia collusion thing was fake. I knew it was fake. I had friends in my own family. I was in Florida. And I can't get into this, but they said he's going to get indicted for working with Russia. It turned out to be 100% false. People testified at Congress they had no information on it, and when they finally had to go under oath as Senate people, nothing was there. The report, nothing was there. No evidence, nothing. And then it turned out the DNC spent $12 million, cooked this whole Russia thing up. 100% fake. But there are still people today. Even Bill Maher, he got 86. He's even trying to say, well, yeah, but he didn't. They put surrogates in this guy's campaign. They're spying on Trump when he becomes president. They're spying on him before. Totally illegal. The FBI and CIA have no business in politics. But it's just disgusting. But the difference between me and a lot of these other people is I don't wish that on Barack Obama or anyone. Because you don't do that. And this rhetoric has got to be ratcheting it down, but I would argue it's just one side. And it's the liberals that caused this assassination attempt to happen. And now we'll get to the Secret Service. In my opinion, the Secret Service failed. Folks, this is what I'm concerned about. Taking out a shooter that gets 8 shots off, kills a spectator, injures another, and hits a former president in the head isn't a win. There are massive failures at many levels in coverage, capability, and protocol. I called a sniper friend of mine. Also, an absolute humiliation if you looked at those videos of the female Secret Service agents. Look at the disorder in those videos by the car. They couldn't holster their weapons. The gear falling off to the ground, erratic. They had fearful movements. No show of force, composure. Behind the podium, the woman Secret Service agent is cowering, and the male agents are all over the presence. Even the agent in the iconic photo, she's too short. She's 5'2". When you're guarding someone, you have to prove a level of strength and mental acuity and your reaction time and your height. Donald Trump is 6'3". On the first team detail, the agents have to be over 6 feet tall. His head's exposed. And we all know, the agent should have ripped him off stage even though he wanted to get composed. That's just Donald Trump taking over, Mr. Alpha Male. But there could have been a second shooter. That could have been a decoy. And then he still was exposed, and he could have got blown away again. And, I'm all for women in Secret Service. Don't come after me because I'm for women's rights. But this DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, has gotten way out of hand, and this just proves it. These women had no business on that. By the way, she couldn't even holster a gun. She looked like she was adjusting her glasses, wanted to look cool for the camera. How many of these agents really wanted to protect Trump? And now we learned that they weren't the first detail because of Joe Biden. They said they were secondary team agents. They weren't the A team. They were from the Department of Homeland. He got C-team agents, Dan Bongino and other people were saying, which seems to be true. So, you know, in my opinion, DEI makes the president less safe. And a lot of companies are going away from this because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Remember this. The Secret Service 24 budget is $3.2 billion. And the most targeted man in the world got hit with a bullet about 130 yards away only. According to the 2024 Department of Homeland Security budget, it's $3,277,000, over $3 million. So a 20-year-old suspect was able to climb up atop of a structure 130 yards away, walking around with a $12,000 and the most sophisticated rifle? And why was a ladder there? We all know Secret Service high ground protocol. This is not me talking. This is from another Secret Service agent and another friend. You have to have high ground. All high ground value targets are covered first. All high ground. And according to Rep. Mike Walz, Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas denied stronger Secret Service protection for Trump multiple times before this nation's attempt here the other day, and now they're denying it. The Secret Service, but it's bullshit. Agents have come out on Trump's team and said they asked for additional protection and they were denied. How are they going to handle that when these whistleblowers come out? So, this guy's saying, I have a very reliable source telling me there have been repeated requests for stronger Secret Service protection, and it's been denied by Secretary Mayorkas 100%. According to all available video of the assassination attempt of Donald Trump, which is really weird, and I've seen all the video, and we're still here new. I'm not making any assertion, but the Secret Service snipers had eyes on the target for over a minute, maybe more. Seems up to 3 minutes. Yet they let a left-wing assassin crawl into position and fire at Trump. And the only reason that civilians are seeing this person for 3 minutes crawl. And by the way, no civilians did anything. They just pointed. But, I don't know what I mean, that's strange to me. And cops are looking at dumbfounded. And now we know a cop climbed up the ladder and then got scared like a coward and backed away and went down. But thank God he did, because it muffled the guy maybe. And he knew he had to get his shots off quicker. And then the turning of Trump's head. That's divine intervention, in my opinion. All that had to happen. So my question is, who gave the stand down order? Who gave the stand down order? Was there a stand down order to not fire? My understanding of the Secret Service is when they see a target, they don't have to get permission. We need to uncover that. I'm not sure on that yet. Do you have to get permission? Was there a stand down order? Does the sniper go, got target in sight, can I take him out? Does he even have to ask that? I wonder. Remember, there's a huge American flag flying over Trump's head, served as an ideal wind flag, indicating for all potential assassins wind speed and direction. Such as indicators are used in all military security firing ranges. Such indicators should have been prohibited by security, I have read. And number 2, all potential positions for an assassin were almost certainly assessed. Video evidence suggests security had snipers pointed in their direction, but apparently access to them left unguarded. What happened to all the infrared? What happened to the drones flying overhead? They should have had a perimeter of 500 yards out, a mile out. It's been reported, which the Secret Service normally does. They go a week, days before, and secure the place, look for vulnerable targets, and this roof was identified. And now the Secret Service is coming out saying it was the local police. That is bullshit. It's not the local police's responsibility. The Secret Service is the lead agency in charge, and they delegate. And if that is true, the Secret Service would have said, we're going to station local cops on that roof. They didn't station any snipers or any local cops on that roof, which was a direct line to the podium. So, thank God the audience saw an assassin moving into obvious firing position. Trained snipers with scopes certainly did. They must have saw him. Come on. It's just hard for me to believe in this day and age that the U.S. Secret Service was so systematically incompetent. It's just unbelievable. I kind of did some, the Secret Service. So they're blaming the local police for the botched rooftop security. Yeah. However, insiders are saying it was the United States Secret Service's responsibility. A senior NBC News Secret Service source confirmed the agency knew there was a major vulnerability on the rooftop where the deceased suspect Thomas Matthew Cook shot Donald Trump. He killed a bystander and injured 2 others on Saturday. The United States Secret Service insider was familiar with the planning of the Trump rally, saying the building Cooks climbed onto was identified as a well-known high-priority vulnerability 1 day before the event, on record. So they knew it was a high-priority vulnerability. There were 2 sniper teams on site. They did not need approval. And this is another thing. I read this, so I took notes on it. They said there were 2 sniper teams on site. They did not need approval to shoot. Prior protocols were not followed. Someone should have been on the roof or securing the building so no one could get on the roof. Why was there a ladder there? Was that ladder just put there before to help this kid out? A Secret Service representative told the New York Times securing the roof of the building was the responsibility of local Pennsylvania police. However, that's been rebuffed by the Butler County District Attorney, argued Secret Service was in charge of security outside the venue because it ran all meetings with local officials. And I talked to a federal agent, and that's the way it is. When they come in town, they are tier 1, and the locals are tier 2, and the Secret Service tells everyone what to do and what they're doing. So they had meetings, this is on record, in the weeks prior. The Secret Service ran the show, he said. They were the ones who designated what did what. In the command hierarchy, they were the top. They were number 1. To me, the whole thing is under the jurisdiction of the Secret Service. And in my opinion, from my calls to some people in research, it's the Secret Service. They're tier 1. Local is tier 2. And they delegate out from a force. So if that is true, and they said, well, what happened? The Secret Service was supposed to delegate out and say, okay, local police on that rooftop deck. But that was a vulnerability tier 1 target. You needed Secret Service snipers on that roof. NBC Secret Service source also noted the agency was ultimately responsible for securing the area ahead of and during the speech, even if local law enforcement did drop the ball. It was the Secret Service's responsibility to secure that perimeter. A former FBI agent told The Sun, I'm very surprised that the rooftop used by the gunman was not secured and locked down. The rooftop was the closest high ground point and direct line of sight to the stage on which Trump was speaking. I think there was an error in planning, and it would not have taken much resource or manpower to secure that rooftop. Locals told the New York Post that they were shocked. No local or federal LEOs contacted them about security ahead of the event. No one was contacted. CNN reported local police were notified and broadcasted warnings over radio to Secret Service that an individual was acting suspicious by metal detectors placed near the entrance of the rally. Later, attendees watched, filmed, and shouted for police as Cooks climbed onto a roof with a rifle on the back. One officer reportedly climbed up a ladder and came back down, and then, the crooks pointed the gun at him. So he wimped out, but maybe he, like I said earlier, maybe he caused him to, have to hurry up and shoot his shots quickly, and then that saved President Trump's life. So, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line is there's a whole bunch of questions. Is there a mole in the Secret Service? We have the director of the Secret Service whose prior position was the head of security for Pepsi Cola. I'm not bullshitting you. And she said, DEI wants to be 30% of the workforce. I'm all for women in the Secret Service. God bless you. But you need to hire the right woman to do it. They need to be saucy. They need to be the right height. They need to be strong. They need to be able to holster their weapon. Constant training, constant taking down. I used to go to my friend who was in SWAT and watch him take down houses. I mean, you got to be just so saucy and on point and so alert. That's why my guy in the Secret Service, and I applied to the Secret Service back in the day, and I went to the second round of testing. And I was an immature kid, and I got caught up in the money, and I went into pharmaceuticals when I would have made less money. And I'll tell you what the guy said to me. I was in the waiting room, and I can't confirm this if it was set up, but I think it was. And I was in a beautiful waiting room in Milwaukee, of all places. Right now, I applied to the Secret Service. I went through a first round interview. I took a test, and then I had to take another test. And I was in the waiting room, and I'm talking leather chairs, beautiful. And they said, go wait. I met with the guy, and they said, go wait in the hallway, and then we're going to bring you back in. I waited in the hall, or in the waiting room, and there was glass from the secretary, and then there was a door to go in the back room. But I was in the waiting room with like 4 or 5 chairs. And then there's the entryway door to get into the office, which is behind me. Well, a cockroach came under the door, a big one. And in my line of sight, and I took my hands and I pointed like a fake gun at it. My hands as a gun, and I shot it. And the guy immediately came out, some guy, and he stomped the cockroach with his foot. I'm telling you, someone put that cockroach under the door to see my reaction time. And I think the proper response was, I don't know if I did it, I think I passed. But it was weird because he came out immediately and stomped it out. That was weird. And maybe my response should have been get up from the chair immediately and stomp it. But I just sat in the chair and I faked like I shot it. I don't know. It was just weird to me. But anyway, when I went into the room the next time, he said, Tim, let me tell you what this job is about. He goes, I was guarding Bush Sr. And we were at Camp David, and it was cold. It was snowy. And the president, they made me go out and get some wood for the fire. And he said, as I was gathering the wood, whether this story is true or not, but this is what he told me. He said, as I was gathering wood, I looked through the window, and it was all glazed out because of the cold. And he said, I saw the president, and he had a stogie, and his feet were up, and, relaxed and crossed. And I was like, wow. And he said, that's your job, Tim. You're going to be the guy getting the firewood. And you're going to see the guy that you're guarding with a stogie in his hand. And you're going to be the guy guarding the door for 3 hours. And it was a test. He goes, I don't see you as that guy. He also told me, he goes, Tim, we rotate people. And this is the key. We rotate people off protection to counterfeiting because we want to keep them saucy. Can't keep them on protection because you can't be that amped and alert all the time. But I took his conversation to heart, and my goal was police force. That's kind of what I trained for. I never drank. I never did drugs. I did martial arts. I went to the gun range to shoot because that's what I thought I wanted to do with my life. And I majored in psychology and criminal justice, international business, and I was going to go to law school and all this stuff. But I got caught up in another job, which was more money, and I got caught up in the green. But things happen for a reason. But that was just an interesting time. So what I'm saying is I have some friends that are in this business, and I researched a lot, and I read all about all this stuff all the time because it's kind of just a passion of mine on the side. And I have some very serious concerns about security issues. There was obviously problems. Was there a stand-down order? So it's just difficult for me to believe the U.S. Secret Service in this day and age was so systematically incompetent. There should have been drone. That should have been targeted. There should have been Secret Service agents on that roof. And of course, the Democrats are in power. They hate Trump, so they're not going to give Secret Service. Let me tell you this, RFK should have Secret Service agents. They're probably going to finally do it now. He should have Secret Service. Look what the Democratic Party did to him. Here's the thing. Say what you will about Republicans. They had a primary, and Trump's the legitimate nominee. The Democrats didn't have a primary. They didn't follow the Constitution. And they said Joe Biden's our nominee, so now they're stuck with him. They didn't allow RFK or other people to have a primary, and they should have had a primary. And if you are a Democrat loyal, you should be appalled that you don't let the people decide. They don't want to do that. They don't want to decide. Look what Hillary Clinton did to Bernie Sanders. Like I said, if you're a real American, I'm against what they did to Bernie Sanders. The people decide elections on both sides. We don't want that. You got pure fascism and communism. You should be terrified because I don't wish that on anyone would happen to Trump. Anyone. And there's Democrats that wanted him dead, wanted him killed. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Violent speech from the Democrats Biden said, remember, Trump will imprison his political opponents, says the guy imprisoning his political opponents. Do you believe the projection? What a phony and fraud. You know, the central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Dan Goldman, remember this douchebag, comes from a lot of money. Investment banker. That's the only reason he got the job in the Senate or House. Dan Goldman, November 23, said Trump has to be eliminated. So remember, you know, Obama was won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. He bombed 7 countries in 6 years. In 2017 alone, he launched 26,000 bombs. So then we come to Trump's presidency. Hitler and Stalin, you know, he's going to march across the United States and he's a fascist. He signed 7 peace treaties. He developed the Trump peace plan, and he's the first president in 100 years not to start wars. And let me tell you this about Afghanistan. As soon as Trump was out of office, Biden did 47 executive orders. And the first one, he shut down our energy, but also he cut the drone and air support that Trump left for Afghanistan. Trump still had drone and air support, and he cut it. And those guys came in and said, Taliban, go in. So all you people saying it's Trump's fault, he cut the drone and air support, the Biden administration. So there's your fascists, signed 7 peace treaties, you know, we were energy independent under Trump. Joe Biden cut our energy day one in office. That's why the economy tanked. That's why gas is so high. That's why inflation, it's not COVID. He's signing an executive order that shut down our energy. That is a fact. He did 47 executive orders right away. He cut the stay at home in Mexico order. Stay in Mexico order that worked, and it curtailed immigration. It was the lowest at the time. It was working to vet people, to get a handle on it. He cut that. He opened the border. People are being raped and murdered. Fentanyl's coming in. The fentanyl crisis alone, the border should be closed with military troops. This is how they feel about you. Here is the question. Here's the $64,000 question, the holistic question that I like to ask. When I look at the tea leaves, look at Trump, look at Orban, you know, look at Putin. Why are all the dictators, why are all these dictators that they call them, why are they so hell-bent on peace? They are. Orban wants peace. Putin tried to do the peace plan to shut down the Ukraine war, but the United States and, Boris Johnson, he went over there, said, no, we're not going to do no peace plan. Unbelievable. That's what it seems like to me. The guy out of Hungary, Orban, Trump, Putin, they're trying to do peace. But why are all these dictators, they're all hell-bent on peace, aren't they? So Trump has already served a 4-year term as U.S. leader. And was there any visible signs when he was president that he was fascist? Because, stepping down Main Street during that period? We all know when Trump was president, just the opposite is true. While Adolf Hitler invaded Poland on September 1st, 1939, thus triggering World War II, Trump went down in the history books as the first American commander-in-chief in modern times to avoid a military conflict. How do you like them apples? So now, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, and I have friends in the FBI, and I love the FBI. I think there's a problem at the top. They've gotten political, and there's some bad problems at the top. But now we don't have to worry, ladies and gentlemen. The same people that maybe, this whole thing, the FBI is going to investigate the Secret Service mishaps, and they're going to have an investigation. Remember, the same bureau that investigated the Las Vegas shooting and the January 6th pipe bombs is now investigating the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. You should feel good about that. This is also the same bureau that invaded Mar-a-Lago illegally. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it soon. Never believe the official narrative, ladies and gentlemen. Look what happened. Mar-a-Lago, they just put those documents out to make it look like Trump left them on the floor. And 2 weeks prior, the FBI was there and said, just put a lock on the door of these Mar-a-Lago things. He was cooperating, and now that case is blowing up. Jack Smith illegally appointed. Look at Jack Smith's record in the Supreme Court overturning him way in the past. What a loser that guy is. So what I would ask is what really happened during the Las Vegas Mandalay Bay shooting incident. Remember the Vegas cab driver? Caught on camera, a second gunman? I saw the video. A second gunman on the 4th floor. I saw it. You can see it clear as day. You can see the sound matches the flashes of the gun. This disappeared from the news permanently. I don't know. So remember, Donald Trump and MAGA are a threat to the very soul of this country. Unbelievable. You know, it's just unbelievable. I just say a few things for you people. You know, Trump promised to make America energy independent, and he did. He promised to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem when Obama said he would in Bush, but they were scared about the optics. But of course, they promised they were going to do it during the election, but you don't care. They basically lied. And they didn't have the stomach to comply with the campaign promises, but Trump did. He promised to stop illegal immigration. He curtailed it, and he did. Right? Stay in Mexico. Vetting process was moved to Mexico. You know, new policy. Soldiers. U.S. didn't have to pay a penny. He promised to make the U.S. economy prosperous. He did. 70% of Americans called it excellent or good. So if you wish to challenge me on anything like that I just said, I refer you to ABC News, Marsha, Radatz interview with Democrat billionaire Tom Steyer, who decided to run for president in 2020 on the economy. Remember that? He was going to run on the economy. He dismantled ISIS. Remember that? He did in 1 week, made phone calls, said, "We have your longitude and latitude coordinates. You guys cut it off. Stop it. We run ISIS." He shut him down in a week. That's 100% true. You know? He dismantled ISIS. Entire political and military teams advised Obama not to withdraw the troops from Iraq, but he did. Created a vacuum. Was immediately filled up with people called themselves the Caliphate, as he said he would. So, he rebuilt the military, giving generals all they asked for, and created a Space Force. China and Russia full steam ahead with Space Force, and Biden canceled that. Remember that? The thing is, rebuilding the military, we all talk, the military gets a substantial amount of money every year. They always, say that they have no military, though. This is calling out both sides right here. They always say they have no military and they need $700-800 billion of funding. Trust me, we would not let our military get below China. China's military is horrible. All their equipment is old too, way older than ours. We have the baddest military in the world with the most advanced equipment. Please. What did Trump do? He called out China, said, "Stop dumping your goods in our country." He's going to have a new trade agreement right before COVID. And they stopped dumping their goods in our country. The economy was roaring. He asked NATO members to do a 2% to GDP as they supposed to do, and they did, except Germany. And we all see today how right he was. Remember that? People laughed at him. They're going to have to pay their 2%, but they want America. Well, he did. He signed into law the First Step Act, allowing convicts, predominantly African Americans who served longer than half of their sentences for nonviolent crimes, out of prison as a second chance. And even that communist guy, Van Jones from CNN, standing behind the president, was applauding him. He's such a fascist. He's such a racist. He called the Black Caucus during his presidency, but Chuck Schumer calls the Black Caucus and says, "Don't meet with him." He's trying to unify everyone. 100% fact, black unemployment went down. Black wages went up more than any president in U.S. history during his presidency. But he's a racist and a fascist. Barack Obama doubled black unemployment, and 7.1 more million blacks went on food stamps in his 8 years. 100% fact. Because we want to keep blacks on the dole, so they vote one party. But all my black friends who become successful, they vote conservative. That's unbelievable. The most impressive achievement of the biblical proportion is the Abraham Accord, creating a peace in the Middle East region and nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, I think 2 times. All the presidents of the United States, starting with JFK, tried to bring peace to the Middle East. Every one of them failed. If Obama, who I have to say I voted for, if he sent a special envoy for the Middle East peace, led by a White House appointee, George Mitchell, who came back empty-handed, you would call him the greatest president ever, Barack Obama, if he did that. But guess what? He didn't. President Trump did. didn't get a piece of, didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. Did I mention record unemployment for all the minorities in this country? Yes, I did. But I'm going to say it again. Record. Better than Biden. Better than Barack Obama. 100% true. Is the man perfect? Did he spend like a drunken sailor like Joe Biden in those ominous spending bills, which I was against? Yes. If you follow my videos, I call out both sides. I'm not picking a side here. I got a big problem with the rhinos. But let me tell you what I like about this man. He loves this country. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get on the Trump train now. They're not really people that they just want to get on to follow the convoy. If you follow all my videos, you know where I stand. Because I want to be with people that love America. I got some problems with Trump's policies, but I got problems with more. Joe Biden over the last 3 years has destroyed this country. I did okay with my rentals. I could just go on. I don't care who wins in that respect. But I'm worried about this country. I'm worried about my children. I'm worried about my children's children. I don't believe, and as some people say, or hardcore liberals now, that the left has pushed too far. I don't believe the state owns my kids. I don't believe the state can tell me how to raise my kids. I don't want transgender in the school. There's 750,000 trans people out of 330 million people. I'm all for trans people. But we don't need to be teaching children about sex when they're 5, 8, 10 years old. Let me ask you this question, and my gay friends can't help walk away from me on this. Do you think it's okay to talk about straight sex between a man and a woman with a 5-year-old and 8-year-old? If you do, you're sick. So why should we talk about trans sex? We shouldn't be talking about any sex. We shouldn't be having surgeries with people that are 10 years old, 12 years old, 16 years old. You should have to wait till you're an adult. Go see a psychotherapist. Get it all figured out. And then if you go, hey, I'm a man and I want to be a woman, then okay. These surgeries are traumatic. And now you got a lot of people that got the surgeries, and you got a little people that were preaching this that said, God, I wish I wouldn't have got that surgery. You don't know what you are at 12. You're all going through your hormones are wild. You're going crazy. One day you're like, I think I like men. I think I like women. You don't know. Shame on you as parents. You let that child go through school and you become an adult, and then at 18, 19, you go to therapy and you figure it out, then you get a surgery. It's disgusting. That's the shit I have a problem with. I have a problem with that I was making more money under Donald Trump, and Joe Biden comes in and passes real estate laws that hurt the real estate industry. Like I said in my last video, you vote on your pocketbook. You vote. That's how we vote. And a lot of people woke up because their pocketbook is less, because the Democrats, I'm telling you, if you really want to play the game and you war game this correctly, you guys push too far. You don't call a guy a fascist, but the problem is you can't run on your policies. All I hear is hate Trump. Tell me about your fucking policies, but your policies have been a complete fucking failure. And by the way, he also stopped North Korea testing ICBMs flying over Japan, capable of reaching the United States, and made them to meet the U.S. South Korea for the first time. He made them meet South Korea for the first time in U.S. history. That was a remarkable achievement on foreign policies. Just meeting with Kim. No other president wanted to meet with the president of North Korea because they're worried about the optics. But as a president, you got to make tough decisions. And he did. But Biden didn't, and neither did Obama. He made the world, ladies and gentlemen, a peaceful place for the entire almost 4 years, making America great, working for the people, showing transparency and integrity of the office never seen before. Always going out doing a media. Yes, he likes the media and he likes the attention a little bit. Barack Obama didn't do a press conference for over 200 days. And my Barack Obama political strategy was, he said, why would I maybe slip up and give him something? So he did as least as he had to do. But Trump put himself out there every day in front of the firing range media. And he won. He was transparent. And the reason why, and I'm okay with it now that if people want to join the Trump train, when you saw him with his hand up, he put the people first. And he let them know he was okay. But he raised his hand and said, you fight. And of course the liberals are going to say, oh, he's inciting. He's not inciting anything. He's saying you fight for America. That's what he's saying. You fight. Anything in life. Your job. What you want to do in life. Your dreams. You fight. And that was epic. It drove me to tears. I couldn't believe it. To have that political instinct and that character, 99% of people would crawl on their knees out of there. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. This guy is a political animal. He's in a once-in-a-lifetime political animal. And if you follow him since the 80s, he's got character and he loves America. Joe Biden doesn't. By his policies, he doesn't. When Trump goes to Ukraine and he sees how the money laundering, and that's why they impeached him, he saw the money laundering. And Mitch McConnell said, hey, you got to go along with this. He said, you're taking money from American taxpayers and bringing it in the front door and taking out the back, and politicians lobby special interests. And he tried to stop it, and they impeached him. No one can deny this guy loves America over Obama, over Biden. And that's why I like this guy. I don't get into the micro, but when you sit around your dinner table, you don't have to have lunch with Barack Obama, Joe Biden. All you people are myopic and you talk like you know these people. How do their policies affect your family? That is the only thing you should care about. And the only thing is the Democrats pushed too hard. And you woke up a lot of people that weren't woken up. And a lot of people, because you push too hard, when their pocketbooks are affected, then they start doing research and they go, hey, why is my pocketbook lighter? Why is gas more? Why is oil more? Why does it cost more to fix my car? Why are eggs more? Oh, it's Joe Biden. Oh, no, wait, no, it's COVID. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden shut down our energy, and that's why everything is more expensive. It's bullshit. Inflation is bullshit. It was 2% under Trump. I have still people saying, well, COVID's over. It's been over a long time. And even day one, if he didn't shut down our energy day one, prices would not be as high as they are today. Please. I could go on. I got another page here of some of his achievements. So I would end with this. A simple question on the Abraham Accords and all that is, if Islam is so fantastic, why do so many Muslims seek refuge in Christian countries? Why don't you leave with that one? Huh? Why is that? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not afraid to say it. There is a God. There is. And we dodged a bullet because maybe civil war would happen. It would have been a terrible thing. It would have been terrible. You Democrats don't know how hard you're pushing. And I'm just saying this rhetoric, at the very least, is not good. And that caused this. You can't be saying that about a candidate, and it's not true. He's not that. He's not a fascist. He doesn't hate this country. He's such a liar. Everything you say Trump is doing, you guys are doing right now. Joe Biden called half the country deplorables. Trump never did that. Trump never went after the people at Twitter. He could have. They were censoring half of America under Biden. All this stuff was found out through Elon Musk, but Trump never went after anyone at Twitter or any of these companies. He never put anyone in trial or in jail. Look at Steve Bannon, all these guys. General Flynn. I mean, this is incredible. I don't wish this on anyone, even Democrats. And I'm a middle-of-the-road guy. Like I said, I'm a libertarian, man. I'm a libertarian, but I don't wish this on anyone. That's the difference between me and you nut jobs out there. I hope this upcoming convention in my hometown of Milwaukee, I would just say this. We do need to unite, but I'm very worried about the President of the United States, former president. I think he needs to get a private security team. There is something really weird here with the Secret Service. That was only 100 yards away. No one's on that rooftop deck. Ask yourself this question. How did that kid know to go to that rooftop deck? Why was there a ladder there? I mean, the kid obviously maybe was staking the joint beforehand, but that roof, how did he know to go to there? How did he know no agents would be up there? How did he know? Because even from the ground, you really can't see. Maybe an agent was laying low. How did he know that no agent was on that roof or close to that roof? Maybe there was another shooter. I would just say this. The agents next to Trump did a phenomenal job, the way they covered him up. But there was a miscommunication there between local police. Was that sniper told not to fire? There's a lot of unanswered questions. That should have been covered ground. It's really scary. What is going on here? We could have had another JFK. We were so close. And we don't need that in our country. This should not be happening. But you know what? We are the dirtiest country when it comes to politics. I've talked to some other people in governments. It's already been reported. We are the dirtiest country when it comes to politics. We play dirty, where we kill people. But this type of rhetoric, and people are happy when someone gets killed, maybe, it's disgusting. When are we going to go back to we all love each other and treat each other with respect? We're all Americans at the end of the day. Remember that. My God. I just want to be left alone I want a better life for me and my family. I just want to make a little bit of money. That's all I want. And I want you to be happy too, who disagree with me on certain political issues. This is just way out of hand. And you know what? Unfortunately, the powers to be, deep state, does exist. The most powerful people that gathered all the money in this country still control it. That's what you people don't realize. They still have all the power. The president's a puppet head. Joe Biden's a puppet. There's people behind the scenes running the show. So when Glenn Beck says, "Oh, I'm worried about the nuclear codes," Joe Biden doesn't have nuclear codes. But Donald Trump was the first man. They always said there's a book about this. They say when someone reaches the presidency, they usually have 5,000 favors to give. Well, Trump didn't, but they thought they could rein him in, and they couldn't. He spoke for himself, and he called out bullshit where there was bullshit, and now they want to take him out. I just think we need to ratchet down the notch. I think this is an eye opener, and I just would say I hope people come together. Love your neighbor. Take a deep breath. This is just way out of control. And I know we got prosecutors in and letting people out for crime and all this craziness just purposely to keep chaos because they want to divide and conquer you because it's more powerful for the people at the top. This is all done by design. But this is a very scary moment. And I just think people need to pray more and have God in their life. You don't want to be an atheist like Bill Maher and not have any children. And then you die and you have nothing to bring to this world. You're going to die alone. Die a grumpy old man who hates America, and you can't sit down with me, Mr. Maher, and debate me on Trump all day long. Some of the things I don't like about Trump, but you're a clown. This guy loves America. The other team doesn't. They hate it. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, is the most unbelievable document ever developed in any country in the world. Look at the girl who remember the girl who went to Russia, got busted for marijuana, they put her in jail, and now she comes back to America and goes, "Oh, wow, America's not such a bad place." So see, a lot of these Americans, you morons, you little millennials and Xers, never travel the world. Go to Somalia. Go to Saudi Arabia. Go walk around with your gay lover and hold hands in the street and show love in public. They'll cut you off and throw you off a roof. Go to Iran. Go to Korea. You think you're going to make $1 billion playing basketball in Indonesia, LeBron James? Huh? It's the greatest country in the world. We're the only white majority nation to elect a black president not once but twice. We're the least racist country in the world. Love everyone. We're not perfect. We're not a perfect country. No, we aren't. But don't tell me, we're just as racist as we were in the 50s and 60s, like I just saw on a show. We've come a long way. And I know my friends of color in other countries, we're all sick of the bullshit. Okay? We're all sick of the bullshit. We just want to live our lives. But this was an eye-opener, and this is disgusting. And the media is responsible for this. And these Democrats pushing this on TV and pushing these people to do an act like this. It's disgusting. And it needs to stop on both sides. But it wasn't both sides this time around. Look what happened to Steve Scalise. Look what happened to Rand Paul. It's disgusting. Mac Oligarchy, I'm out. Take care. Pray more.